A sad saint is a sad saint indeed. Now what this is saying is that that saint hasn't found the inner joy of God, the bliss of God. And through all circumstances, as Yoganandaji is describing here in these beautiful passages, we'll have many ups and downs in life, but there's always God underneath as the bliss of the soul, and we can always find that. And Guruji said, even a little, if you find a little bubble of joy, nothing else is there. He said, take that bubble and blow on it, expand it, make it bigger. And so all the techniques that we practice on our path, as I've been on this path for some decades now, I realize that they all are taking us to the essence of our being, which is Sat Chidananda, which is bliss inside. And so as we do energization, it's opening the channels in the body, it's bringing in fresh prana, it's purifying the body, it's recharging, it's magnetizing the body. It's joy-inducing. As we energize every day, we build more and more and more on the joy that's within, and it's able to come out more as we're more relaxed and open. The same with our meditation. Master said, in fact, that Kriya produces a tangible feeling of joy in the spine, in the chakras. As you do Kriya Yoga, the pranayama practice, our highest technique of meditation, you begin to feel the joy of the soul. As we chant, as we just did a very simple chant, you can feel the vibrations, they're joy producing, they open the heart, and then we can bring the energy up to the spiritual eye. As we do seva, as we serve, there's a feeling that comes in that's very blissful because we have expanded ourselves. We're not thinking of ourselves, and we're in tune with the higher energy of God, of the gurus that's working through us, and they're filled with joy. And so all the practices that we have, if we stick with them, we find that little by little there's joy that comes from our soul, and we begin to be bathed in that vibration. I remember when I first went to Ananda village, I left my home, I just finished college, and I sought joy in other things. I sought in money, I had a good job, I sought it in nice house and relationships and car and all the things that people put on their altar these days. Not joy producing. There's always a dead end feeling to those, and luckily I learned that pretty fast in life. And then I heard about Paramahansa Yoganandaji, and I began to read his books, and I just felt so happy that here was someone who had answers. And then someone told me about a great master, a yoga master who lived, I lived in Los Angeles, so it wasn't that far away from me, but he lived up in the mountains and the foothills of Sierra Nevada foothills, that he actually trained people in Yoganandaji's teachings and all. And I went there, and I remember I packed my car of my few possessions, and I had a Volkswagen then, for those of you who know, it's sort of like a Nano, but a little bit bigger. So I packed my car, and I was going to Ananda, and I remember as I left, my whole family was in tears, and they just couldn't believe I was leaving home. And my mother was saying, well, you're wasting your life, and you have a college degree, you should help us. And I just said, I just can't stay. I know my life is something else. That was 36 years ago or more. And I remember my mother saying, well, where are you going? And I said, all I know is the place is called Ananda. And honestly, I didn't know much about it. And they said, well, what does Ananda mean? And I said, all I know is Ananda means joy. And I have to go there. And as I went, I saw people who were happy. I saw people who were energetic. As I began to do the yoga postures I was learning, I said, I love this. I was opening up as I learned the energization. I loved the exercise. It was not, from the beginning, but I learned to love them, let's put it that way. But I did feel a joyful energy coming, and I learned how to chant, and then as I began to meditate, I said, I've gotta go deep into this. I knew that those were the keys. As Paramahansa Yoganandaji said, he brought tools, techniques, methods. He said, you have the keys in your hand. Just open a door. You open the door to the soul's qualities of bliss. I remember Swamiji saying once, he said, if you practice Kriya deeply enough, he said, it's just delicious. It's just so sweet. And you just don't want to do anything else. And so all the practices we have, they lead us inside ourselves to that secret place of joy, of bliss, which is there already, and always has been there.